I'm not here to say I told you so, but I told you so. Caps win 2-1 over the Boston Bruins. And let's just talk about it right now and get it out of the way. Gudas did not get a jersey. And look what happened. Martin Farivari gets his first shot at the NHL playoffs, and he had a great game. He had great defense, great movement of the puck out of the zone, joined the rush a couple times, and the Caps won. It's probably not true, but I like to think Todd Reardon saw my videos and said, okay, let's go with Farivari. There's a lot to unpack in this game, so let's get right to it. Right off the bat, the Caps are once again a little flat-footed. But not flat-footed in the same way as they were against Tampa and Philly. Flat-footed in a sense that they were tentative. It almost felt like they were just so scared to get scored on that they just shut down. They said, no offense, let's just play back end, make sure nothing's given up, and just shut it down. And that's essentially what the entire first period was. 2 total shots on net, 1 of them was a goal, and they played the entire period focusing on getting back into their zone and making sure the Bruins had no chances. Now, of course, the Bruins did end up getting some chances, but they weren't quality chances, nowhere near the chances that were given up against Tampa and Philly. And it's great to see the Caps finally buy into some sort of defensive system. In the first 2 round robin games, it felt like they were so focused on individual talent and scoring a goal, making a beautiful play. But this game, it felt like they finally decided to play inside a system that worked for the betterment of the team.
Use it inside a system that's designed for the betterment of the team.
Second line starts the game once again, and I say to myself, here we go again. 14 seconds in, Holtby is tested, and he makes a great save, and he shows off exactly how this game's gonna go for him. And then in the blink of an eye, here comes the second line. Kuznetsov is racing down the wing, fakes the shot, wraps it around, and just misses the net. Chara is able to get his stick over and block the wraparound chance before it crosses the line. And I heard the analysts say that Chara is allowed a longer stick because of how tall he is. How is that fair? I mean, there's a stick length regulation for a reason. Anyway, we're not gonna focus on that. The point here is that he moved his feet. He got his wheels moving and created a chance. I've been saying it for the past 2 games. The Caps have been flat-footed, not moving their feet out of the zone, but when they finally do, look what happens. It didn't always end up in a shot on net, but that's okay. It was a chance, and the chances are gonna keep coming, and the shots will end up coming. And every single line's first 2 shifts is actually a better looking shift. Whew, except for the third line. The third line spent their entire first 2 shifts in their own zone. The entire shift. And that's not an exaggeration. The entire shift, 100%, was spent in their own zone. It wasn't a great start for the third line, but things get better. But then next thing I know, I blink, and it's been 15 minutes into the first period and nothing has happened. I mean, it's just a staring contest between 2 kids at the playground. Who's gonna blink first? This is a game between 2 teams who both lost their first 2 round robin games. Neither team wants to be the ones to give up something big. It was tentative from both sides, and I have to give the first period to Boston because they at least pressed the matter a little bit more than the Caps. I mean, they had more than 2 shots on net, but still, it's just both teams waiting for the other one to make a mistake. And the first big chance of the game is given up by Boston. It's 2-on-1, Oshie and Backstrom. Oshie has no pass over to Backstrom because the defender is taking away the lane, so he has to call his own number. And Oshie blows the shot high and wide. He completely misses the net. Like, come on, dude. You have that much open room to make a shot, at least make Tuukka Rask make the save. And thus the woes of the second line continue. And I think this was the moment when Todd Reardon had enough. Because it was after that 2-on-1 chance that Oshie blew high and wide that he finally shook up the lines and made some changes. Oh, who'd have thought some actual coaching would have done some good? So what does he do? He moves Backstrom and Oshie up to the top line with Ovechkin, Kuznetsov and Wilson down to the second line with Vrana, and what happens next? Goal! It's 1-0 Capitals! It's an offensive zone faceoff on the right-hand side, and Oshie has to take it because Backstrom gets kicked out. Oshie wins the puck back to Ovi, and he shoots the puck on net, but just misses it wide. But it's okay, because the puck cycles around, gets back up to the defense, and Orlov has it on the point. Orlov sees Backstrom wide open next to the net, slap pass down to Backstrom. Backstrom deflects it on net, Tuukka Rask makes the save, and Chara gets the puck. but Oshie is right there, stripped the puck from Char and slaps it in. And this is an example of how the grind of the game works. There's not going to be a lot of clean goals in this Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm telling you that right now. The amount of games being played on the ice is just tearing up the ice in Toronto, and it's making the puck bounce and bounce and bounce all over the place. So these types of grind them down goals are exactly what we want to see. You get the shot on net, get a rebound, and create, say it with me, havoc in front of the net. Havoc is created in front of the net, and Oshie is right there to smack it in. And it was like a jump start, a jolt of electricity for the Capitals, because after that goal, they really started to play some hockey. Period 2. The second period starts and the top 2 lines are shaken up, but the third and fourth lines stay the same, which at this point I think is a great idea. The fourth line is doing their thing. They've been doing it for the past 3 games and they're still doing it. Getting the puck into the corners, grinding down the defense, creating a chance on net, and then getting back on defense. After a shaky start by the third period, being in their zone 100% of the time for their first 2 shifts, they actually started to have some momentum. Hagelin, his wheels are moving, his hair flowing majestically in the wind. Kovalchuk's actually doing something, getting to the open ice, getting the puck, and getting shots on net. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, this is how we're gonna play out the rest of the game. But nope, almost as soon as I think that, Kovalchuk gets called for hooking and he's in the box. Thank God for a good penalty kill, and thank God Boston has not been great on the power play. Caps are getting in the lanes, blocking passes on the PK, and Wilson actually gets a shot on net shorthanded. And when Kovalchuk gets out of the box, Todd Reardon decides he wants to do a little bit of more coaching. He wants to send a message to Kovalchuk at this time saying, hey, look, dude, you're not really doing too much, and you just took an unnecessary penalty. You're going down to the fourth line. So Kovalchuk goes down to the fourth line with Panik. So Kovalchuk gets demoted down to the fourth line with Dowd and Hathaway. Panik gets moved up to the third line with Boyd and Hagelin. And it creates some chances. Who would have thought that a little bit of coaching could go such a long way? But I digress, moving on. The puck moves into the Capital zones, and oh my God, Pastrnak is all alone in front, and Holtby, what a save! I tell you what, Holtby's making this look easy. Holtby has his glove sitting in the perfect position. He doesn't even have to move it up or down. It's just, the puck just goes right into it, and he snatches it and stands up like, yeah, what? I knew you were shooting it there. And I'm just like, oh! Is Brian McClellan sure he can't find any cap space for Holtby? And then as soon as Holtby makes this giant save, Kuznetsov and Vrana use their speed, moving up ice and draw a penalty. And at this point, I'm just getting tired of saying it. What happens when you move your feet? You draw a penalty or you create a chance on net. And in this case, it's a great drawn penalty and we move to the power play. And by God, was it a good power play. Finally, the Caps are starting to move the puck and get shots on net in the power play. The one change I would make is you gotta get a right-handed D-man at that point. John Carlson is still out and we are praying he comes back for the first round, but in the meantime, I don't think Dmitry Orlov is cutting it. Don't get me wrong, I love Orlov, but as a point man on the power play, it's just not working out. You have Ovechkin on the left wing, and in order to get the puck over him, Orlov has to completely broadcast, opening up his body, that he is sending it over to Ovechkin, as opposed to John Carlson, who can fake a shot and just dump it over to Ovechkin across his body. The right-handed D-man is going to be the key there, and I understand where Todd Reardon's coming from. Orlov is a very good offensively minded D-man, and he does a great job, but in the meantime, just in the meantime, think about switching it up. But hey, at least Radko Gudas isn't on the bench. Who could ask for more? Okay, so no goals on this power play, but that's okay. It looked pretty good. And at the very, very end of the power play, Ferivari is thrown out there. Martin Ferivari, number 42. I am so glad you finally got your chance in the NHL playoffs. Number 42 takes the puck around his net, sends it straight up ice at Vrana, who bump sets it off to Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk comes storming down the wing, wide open shot on net. Oh, he is so close. The puck just dribbles across the goal line. But this is what I'm talking about. Move your feet, skate up ice, get a chance. And this was the pattern for the rest of the second period. Caps are storming up ice, getting chances, moving the puck to the point, shooting it on net, creating havoc in front of the net. And anytime a shot comes Holtby's way, he's able to make the save. And after a couple more great shots on net and a couple more fantastic saves by Holtby, the second period ends and it's still 1-0 Caps. But not without a little bit of fireworks thrown in there. Oshie gets a little frisky in the corner with Kuraly and they both start the third period in the box. Period 3. And the Caps keep the pedal to the metal. They start period 3 coming out gunning just like they were at the end of period 2. Ovi comes rushing down the wing. Rushing down the wing. And he gets a great shot on net. It's an easy save for Rask, but it's a shot nonetheless. Then Boyd and Vrana hook up in front of the net and they force Rask to make a great save. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if Boston is just flat-footed, if they were tired, if they just didn't care. But they all stand around looking at the puck like, all right, who's gonna take that? Meanwhile, Tom Wilson comes storming down the left wing, takes the puck, backhand and forehand, flips it past Rask. Go! 2-0 Capitals! And this was just an impressive goal. I mean, Tom Wilson is rushing as hard as he can to beat his defender. And he goes backhand to forehand so quickly and gets that puck over Rask's shoulder. It goes post in and I just... For any of you watching this video who aren't Caps fans and you wonder how we feel about Tom Wilson, that is how we feel about Tom Wilson. The rest of the league might see him as just some goon who takes a bunch of penalties and fights people and has reckless hits, but this guy can score. And he's gonna end up being a leader for this team one day, and these are the kind of plays that he's capable of. Don't sleep on Tom Wilson. And now I'm getting excited. Yes! And at this point in the game, the Caps have the luxury up 2-0 of playing a slower, more deliberate game. The defense is able to take the puck behind their own net, wait for a play to develop, and because the forwards are moving their feet, they can stretch past it, dump it, and make a play in the offensive zone corners. Which is what starts to happen. The fourth line dumps the puck, gets into the corners, Dowd creates a turnover, he is all alone in front of the net, and oh, it just squirts just about 2 inches wide of the net. And then a penalty gets called on Boston, and I'm like, yeah, here comes the power play. And then it's like, no, it's 4-on-4 because apparently Panik took a dive. Embellishment? Really? Come on. I didn't look very hard at the replay, so I'm not going to complain about it. And once again, the Caps show that they're just not the strongest team 4-on-4 right now. Here comes David Pastrnak screeching down the left wing. This is scary. He shimmies his defender. He's all alone in front, but hope he makes another great save. And this is where things started to get a little hairy for the Washington Capitals. We spent a lot of time in our own zone during that 4-on-4. And for some reason, it got to the guys. And after spending a majority of that 4-on-4 in their own zone, Boston starts getting chances. And in the game of hockey, one chance is all you need. Boston has a set play coming into the zone, and Siegenthaler actually does a good job blocking a pass from the blue line down low. But in an unlucky turn of events, the puck bounces around at his feet and lands right at the feet of DeBrusk. But props to DeBrusk on this play. He does some sweet Jimmy Jive jump over the puck dexterity play, and hope he's caught unexpecting. The puck goes through his 5-hole. It's 2-1 Caps. And it sucks to give up a goal, and it sucks to have your lead cut in half, but what really sucks is how the Caps looked after that goal. They were flat-footed again, and they reverted right back to how they played in the Philly and Tampa games and the first period of this game. Luckily, they're able to snap out of it fairly quickly, and it becomes an evenly matched game again. Boston's getting some chances and Washington's getting some chances, and it's a tug-of-war match for the rest of the game. The fourth line continues to do their thing, hem the defense in their zone, lay into them, create havoc, and finally the third line starts doing some more stuff. Kovalchuk skates hard, gets the puck, he finds Boyd across ice, and it's a chance in front. They're creating chances, and I love to see it. The first line has a nifty little play off the boards where they dump it in hard off the corner board from center ice, and they skate in hard after it for a chance on net. Not the first time we saw that in this game, and actually, I'd like to see more of that. Because the only way that play works is if you skate faster than the defense. None of this idling around and reaching for the puck with your stick. No. You move your feet and you grind them into the corner. And the Caps started to turn it up a little bit. They do a little bit more of that grind play. Clock winds down, it's under 2 minutes, but the Caps are penning the puck in their offensive zone, so Boston can't pull Tuukka Rask. Stoppage in play with 1:25 left on the clock, and Tuukka is still sitting in his crease like, hey coach, am I gonna get pulled? Hey, over here. Eventually they're able to pull Tuukka Rask with 1 minute left on the clock, but it's to no avail. The final buzzer sounds and the Caps win! And even though it wasn't a perfect game, it felt good to see the guys play a little bit better. I think history has shown time and time again that it is not the team hot right now that is going to end up winning the cup. It's the team that is gaining momentum and slowly starting to come into their solid gameplay in the first round and able to carry that through the next 3. And you know what? I believe that the Caps can be that team. because this game shows that after 2 terrible looking games, they're able to slowly change their game, find what works for them, and they can gain that momentum and take it into the next round. And speaking of the next round, bring on the Islanders. Now that the Caps have won this game, the first round is going to be against Barry Trotz and the New York Islanders. I'm okay with this. Carolina is a tough, physical shutdown team. I mean, look, Rod Brind'Amour is their coach, and I don't want the Caps to play against that right now. I'd much rather the Caps play against a finesse and skill team like the Islanders to get their feet under them and to really solidify what type of game they're gonna play for the next 2 months. But what do I know? I'm just a fan. Before we go today, we got a quick shout out. Shout out to my buddy Grant Green, who hails all the way from the great Highland country of Scotland. That's in Europe, by the way. That's right, Grant is one of the biggest Caps fans that I've ever met, and he lives all the way across the ocean, 3,000+ miles away from the DC area. So Grant, buddy, thank you so much for all your support on this channel, and you keep leading the Rock the Red initiative out there for our UK fans. All right, folks, that's it for this game. Next up, round 1 of the playoffs against the New York Islanders. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. And if you enjoyed your time here, consider subscribing. I'd love to see you come back. And as always, let's go Caps!